Warner Brothers' biggest problem isn't just that Supergirl underperformed, but that the studio may be repeating the exact same formula for its next major DC movie. As new comments from James Gunn continue making headlines, fans are questioning whether DC Studios is actually learning from the backlash or doubling down on the same creative direction that has already sparked so much criticism. Gunn is now standing firmly behind Supergirl writer Ana Nogueira, confirming that she's still leading the upcoming Wonder Woman project, while also revealing that the two films could share similar themes and storytelling. But that's not all. His latest remarks about Man of Tomorrow, Wonder Woman, and the future of the DC Universe have created an entirely new wave of debate, with many fans arguing that DC could be heading toward another major controversy. So, is James Gunn making a bold creative decision? Or is he ignoring the warning signs that fans have been pointing out for months? Let's break down everything that was said. Over the past several weeks, it's become increasingly clear that Warner Brothers Discovery and DC Studios are facing growing pressure following the disappointing performance of Supergirl. Between the movie's theatrical run and its early digital release, discussions surrounding the film have remained overwhelmingly focused on its commercial results, audience reaction, and what those outcomes could mean for the future of the DC universe. As criticism has continued to spread online, several of the project's biggest names, including James Gunn, Millie Alcock, David Zaslav, and writer Ana Nogueira, have all stepped forward to defend the film and its creative direction. Each new interview has attempted to reassure fans that the studio still has confidence in its long-term plans, despite the ongoing backlash. Now, James Gunn has once again addressed the situation, but this time, his comments aren't just about Supergirl, they're about where the entire DC universe is heading next, and that's exactly why they're generating so much attention. One of the biggest topics surrounding Gunn's latest interview revolves around Wonder Woman. Despite the criticism directed at Supergirl, Gunn made it clear that he has no intention of replacing Ana Nogueira as the writer of the upcoming Wonder Woman film. In fact, he went even further by publicly defending her work and expressing complete confidence in her ability to shape one of DC's most iconic heroes. For many fans, that's become one of the most surprising developments, because regardless of where people stand on Supergirl, the conversation has now shifted toward a much bigger question. If audiences had such mixed reactions to one project, should DC Studios continue using the same creative team for another major franchise? That's the debate currently dominating online discussions. At the same time, another challenge has emerged for Warner Brothers. Following the film's digital launch, many observers have questioned whether the movie can build enough momentum outside theaters. Premium digital rentals and purchases remain relatively expensive compared to streaming subscriptions, leading some fans to argue that convincing large audiences to pay those prices could be an uphill battle. Whether that concern ultimately affects the film's long-term performance remains to be seen. However, it's against that backdrop that James Gunn made perhaps his strongest defense yet, not only of Supergirl, but also of the people responsible for creating it. According to Gunn, one of the biggest challenges facing modern filmmakers isn't simply making the movie itself, it's dealing with the reaction that follows online. He explained that Ana Nogueira received significant criticism throughout the release of Supergirl and said he had already prepared her for that possibility long before the film reached theaters. But what really caught everyone's attention was what he said next. Gunn suggested that the same type of reaction should also be expected once Wonder Woman is released. And according to him, that's something the creative team is already preparing for well in advance. Expanding on that point, Gunn explained that every major superhero project today comes with intense scrutiny, especially when it involves well-known female characters. According to him, Ana Nogueira experienced that firsthand during the release of Supergirl, and he believes the same environment will surround Wonder Woman once the film gets closer to audiences. He said that before production even moves further ahead, he's already had conversations with Nogueira about the level of criticism she could face online. In Gunn's view, the creative team has to stay focused on telling the story they want to tell rather than becoming distracted by the constant debates taking place across social media. Gunn also made it clear that he has complete confidence in Nogueira's vision for Wonder Woman. According to him, the upcoming film is designed to present Diana Prince through a modern lens while still honoring the core of the character. He described the project as a fresh interpretation that reflects contemporary themes without abandoning Wonder Woman's importance within the DC universe. He also hinted that audiences may notice similarities between Supergirl and Wonder Woman in terms of tone, storytelling, and the themes explored throughout both films. While he avoided revealing specific plot details, he acknowledged that the creative approach behind the two projects shares common ideas. That statement immediately sparked another round of discussion among DC fans. For supporters of Gunn's direction, consistency across multiple films can help build a connected cinematic universe. But for critics, hearing that Wonder Woman could closely resemble Supergirl only raised more concerns, especially considering how divided the reaction to Supergirl has already been. Gunn continued by saying that criticism directed toward female-led superhero films often goes beyond ordinary movie reviews. He argued that creators and actors frequently become the targets of personal attacks online, adding that this is something future cast members and filmmakers should be prepared to face. He even suggested that whoever ultimately takes on the role of Wonder Woman should expect that level of attention from the moment the project is officially announced. Whether fans agree with that assessment or not, it's clearly become a major part of Gunn's public defense of the studio's current direction. But this is also where many critics strongly disagree. Their argument isn't necessarily about the people making the films, it's about the creative choices themselves. Many fans believe the backlash surrounding Supergirl has been driven primarily by disagreements over the story, character development, and overall execution rather than simply the identity of those involved behind the scenes. Because of that, some viewers feel Gunn may be focusing on the wrong issue. Instead of addressing why certain creative decisions divided audiences, critics argue that the conversation continues shifting toward online behavior and social media reactions. That difference in perspective has become one of the biggest points of debate surrounding DC Studios right now. Another topic Gunn touched on involved the broader direction of the franchise. He confirmed that Kara Zor-El will return in Man of Tomorrow, describing her role as much larger than many fans may have expected. While he stopped short of revealing major story details, he suggested that Supergirl will remain an important part of the DCU moving forward. He also hinted that Wonder Woman could eventually feature connections to other DC heroes, although he emphasized that several plans are still being finalized. Those comments have only fueled more speculation that upcoming DC films will continue placing heavy emphasis on crossovers and interconnected storytelling. For some fans, that's exciting. For others, it raises another concern. Is DC building an interconnected universe, or are individual character stories beginning to take a back seat? That question has become increasingly common as more information about future projects continues to emerge. Gunn didn't stop there. He doubled down on his support for Ana Nogueira, saying he has no plans to replace her as the writer of Wonder Woman. In his opinion, she delivered an excellent script for Supergirl, and that's exactly why he wants her leading another major DC project. He also praised The Flash, 2023, calling it one of his favorite modern DC films. Gunn admitted that many fans won't agree with that opinion, but he believes filmmakers shouldn't build stories around online reactions. According to Gunn, creators have to stay committed to their own vision, regardless of the criticism. His message was simple. If audiences love the movie, that's great. If they don't, move on and keep making the stories you believe in. That mindset has become one of the biggest talking points among DC fans. Because while some people respect Gunn for sticking to his creative vision, others believe he's overlooking legitimate feedback from the audience. And that's where another concern comes in. Gunn has already confirmed that Man of Tomorrow will feature several returning DC characters and multiple cameos. Personally, I think that's a risky move. One of the biggest complaints about recent superhero movies is that they try to do too much at once. Instead of focusing on one hero and one strong story, the films become packed with supporting characters and surprise appearances. Sometimes, less is more. A great Superman movie doesn't need to introduce half the DC universe. It simply needs a compelling Superman story. Another reason fans are paying close attention is because of Millie Alcock's earlier comments. She previously suggested that Supergirl will play a much larger role in Man of Tomorrow, and even hinted that her character could be portrayed as more powerful than Superman in unexpected ways. Exactly how that will happen remains unknown. But those remarks have already sparked plenty of speculation online. So now the biggest question becomes, can James Gunn's long-term DC plan win fans back, or will the same creative decisions continue dividing the audience? We'll find out soon enough as more announcements about Wonder Woman and Man of Tomorrow continue to roll out. Until then, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with James Gunn's approach, or do you think DC Studios needs a different direction? If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the Woke Watch, and turn on notifications for more Hollywood and DC updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.